Kate from Whutsy here. In this video, I'm going to just give you a really all-around tour of the Etsy seller calculators I have on Whutsy.com. Now, I created all these calculators because I was finding pricing my listings in my shops was getting increasingly difficult once I started to learn about all the layers of fees that exist on Etsy, and it gets confusing really quick. So I created calculators for myself to use, and I realized, why would I need to not share this with the world? So I am sharing this with you, and I'm going to walk you through all the different calculators. Now, a lot of the calculators are only available in the members only section of the site. So I wanted to show people that maybe aren't members what's in there, and then also people who are members how they can use the calculators best in there, because I feel like I have quite a few members, and I do get statistics, just numbers about who's using, how many people are using the calculators and how many are starting and not finishing and things like that. So I want to just kind of show you how to use these and why you should be using them. I use them almost daily, and I'm not necessarily adding things to my shop every day. But I'm always checking to see, like, can I sell this item? Or doing a custom order for a customer, I need to use the calculator to price that custom order, because what if that customer, even though they messaged me, clicked through an offsite ad and sent me a message, and then they also, while they're waiting for me to respond, found my coupon on my website, and they're going to use both of these on this custom order when I'm not even thinking about that when I'm building the custom order. So this is how I use these calculators almost daily in my everyday life. So first, when you go to Whutsy.com, I have a free version of the calculator, and I call this calculator the "What price should I sell my listing for" calculator. And I'm literally trying to answer that question. I sell some print on demand items. I sell some items that I make myself. I sell some supplies. All these things have to be thought about how we price them in different ways. And this calculator, when you're starting with an item and you don't have any clue what you should charge for that, this is the calculator you want to use. So I put this as a demo on the website. Anyone can try it out. All you have to do is enter your email address at the end. You don't have to opt into emails. I actually don't email my list very much at all. Probably should do it more, actually, because I have tons of information to share. And but if you opt out, that's okay. The email address is just so to send that information, that data, to your email so you have it. I'm not hoarding email addresses for some evil plot. So that's why I do that. You just scroll down here, and I have a little bit of a note about those new Etsy fees that came in. All my calculators factor in these new Etsy transaction fees that came into effect April 11th, 2022. So this video I am making at the end of April 2022. So if anything's changed since then, I'm sure I've made an update as well. But as of that date, these calculators are accurate with those new fees. So once you scroll down, you'll get to this window where it says Get Started. This should work on your mobile phone just as easily as on a desktop computer. So we click Get Started. Now, I'm going to just demo this using as a print-on-demand model, but I'm also going to explain how you would use this calculator for an item that you make by hand or a supply that maybe you are selling. So the first thing you want to do is enter the listing title that is for your reference. This doesn't have to be the formal title on your Etsy listing, just something that you can reference. So for the demo, I'm going to be using these embroidered patches that they sell on Printful. I love to use my calculator for Printful products, because then you see, oh, crap, I can't sell products from Printful after I do the calculator, because wow, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to sell this patch for this amount of money in reality, unless I'm doing some crazy personalization. And then it's like, okay, am I going to be compensated for that out at that time? Anyway, that's why I love to use Printful products for these demos. But they are a winning company as far as embroidery goes. I think their embroidered products are really fantastic and they do a great job. That being said, okay, so it is, I'm not saying it's impossible to sell their products. It's just you're going for on Etsy, I'm saying, but you know, the price point, you'll see. So this is the demo we're going to use. And so I'm just going to copy the title, put it in here, and then write Printful so I know when I reference this later, if I need to reference this later in that email that's going to be sent to me, I have that name in there. The next thing is a very important amount to consider, your minimum profit per sale. This amount should be the minimum amount you wish to make per sale. So someone buys this patch, how much money do I want to make if, say, and I say minimum because not everyone's clicking through an offsite ad. If you don't know what an offsite ad is, that's marketing that Etsy does on our behalf. Not everyone uses a coupon, but we need to factor in, like, if someone does click through an offsite ad and we're paying that additional fee and someone does use a coupon, I want to make sure that I'm getting that minimum amount of profit that it costs me to make this product. Now you can average it out over time. Yes, I agree. That's a possible way of doing it, but I don't want someone to buy this patch using those with those fees and coupons, and it actually, I don't make any money on that transaction, you know? So I would want that minimum to be something that makes it worth my while to even go through the process of producing this patch. If your process is automated, it doesn't have to be as much. It could be quite low, actually. You could even set it for $1 if you wanted to. You can set it for less than $1. You could do 50 cents, the very minimum you could possibly make. My point is you want to set it for that minimum amount. You want to set it for something, because I don't believe in losing money on any transactions on Etsy. That's why I've made these calculators. This is a personalized patch, and it takes me quite a bit of effort to make that design for each patch. Now I might want my minimum profit to be a little bit higher. And this is when you can start thinking about, like, am I hand making this item? Say it's an embroidered patch that you're actually making yourself. You have that entire setup in your home. So we want our hourly rate to be our minimum profit per sale. So if it takes me 30 minutes to make this patch, for example, and I want to make sure that I'm making $20 an hour, then the minimum profit per sale I want to make is $10 for this patch. Okay, so that's how you would think about it that way if you're hand making something. Now, if you are selling a supply, something that's already made that you've purchased and you just have in your stock room, and all you have to do is pick up that item, package it, and send it to the customer, then yeah, maybe your minimum profit per sale could be quite low on that as well. But this is going to be all up to you. So I'm just going to set saying that this is a personalized patch. It's fairly easy for me to personalize, not a lot of effort. So I'm going to say my minimum profit I would want to actually go through that process of making this patch would be $3. Okay. Next is your cost to make. Include your cost to make would be the materials, any contract labor, product packaging, inserts, and packaging for shipping, etc. So for print on demand, the cost to make, all we need to do is go over to the Printful website, see the price is $8.95. Okay, but remember with embroidery, there's additional fees with Printful, okay? So we need to go down and look at the additional fees. Does it say here anywhere the fee for, here it is, digitization. So text-only designs made with our text tool are $3.95. Other designs are $6.50. Now remember, I said this is a personalized patch and I'm making a new one for each customer. Now, I could say personalized, like maybe I have 5 designs and I can spread out the digitization costs for those designs over time and maybe not include that fee in every sale. Or if it's completely bespoke, then we know that each time we upload a embroidery design into Printful, that additional $6.50 fee is going to be attached. So that's how we have to think about that. So we'll add $6.50 as a cost to the $8.95. I'm going to just use my calculator here on my phone and do that quick math. $8.95 plus $6.50. So it costs me $15.45 to make that patch for my customer. Okay. So you can see it's already, the cost of this patch is already going up. All right. Now, the next, and the other thing is for cost to make. If you're hand making something, say I'm doing these embroidered patches at home, you want to include the cost to, if it's a blank, and that you're embroidering a blank, you need to include the cost of the blank to make this. Are you including a business card in with your package? Is the thread you're using particularly expensive? Maybe you can figure out how much thread you're using per patch on average and include those costs in this cost to make one patch. There's lots of things you need to factor in. The cost of equipment. Do you have someone who you pay as a designer to do the design work? All these things could possibly be it. Now, the cost, if you're selling a supply, the cost to make would be your wholesale cost for that one of that item. So if you are selling, a special type of printer paper that people use as a supply, what's that, one of that that in your listing would be. If you're selling individual sheets, one sheet, what does that cost you? And then any inserts that are going into the packaging, and then the packaging itself, the shipping package that it goes in, you would want to include that cost to make. Basically, whatever it costs you to get that package to the door. The next section is your shipping price at checkout. This is what the customer pays. So if you have free shipping on this item, the price would be $0. Now, we know shipping prices are very complicated because they vary wildly. When it comes to Printful, they give us the shipping prices here in their table. So shipping to the United States is $3.50. If you're starting an Etsy shop, it might be easier for you to just ship to the United States before adding other layers of complexity. I ship worldwide. I would say, less than 5% of my orders are outside of the United States. And there's lots of laws and taxes and other fees that happen for shipping from the US to international countries. Excuse me. Etsy takes care of a lot of those fees, but they can get kind of in the way of understanding how much money you're actually making. So if you're starting out, recommend just go with the United States at first. You can always add more countries down the road. So to ship one patch is $3.50. So we are going to enter that in if that's what the customer pays at checkout. We could increase that to $3.99, whatever we think is fair. Or if, like I said, if it's free shipping, you do $0. So I'm going to just assume that free shipping guarantee, the customer is paying $0. Now, when it comes to free shipping, this is where we enter that cost to ship, which is $3.50. I just want to talk about these two fields. For example, if you are making something handmade, what would you put in here? You would probably want to understand the highest possible shipping price that a customer is going to pay for one of this item. So, excuse me, Etsy doesn't let us clarify I can't ship this to Alaska, I can't ship this to Hawaii for example, where your shipping costs are going to be the most expensive. I have a friend in Hawaii, and a few times when they've ordered off of Etsy, they've had the shop owner reach out and say, look, I can't ship it there. The shipping price is too expensive, and cancel orders, or actually negotiating like, do you mind paying for extra shipping and everything? So you may not have many orders shipping to Hawaii or in Alaska, but you may want to think about that in your pricing so that if that does happen, you're not freaking out and wondering, how am I going to cover this? Especially if you are doing a free shipping guarantee, really should be factoring that in. If the customer is paying for shipping at checkout, this is less of an issue. But obviously, if as that shipping price increases, there is a percentage of fees that comes out of that amount of money that the customer pays, because that amount of money the customer pays is part of the transaction. So you still want to figure out, what would it cost to ship one of these to Hawaii? What would it cost me to ship one of these to Alaska? Across the country, far away. If you live in those places, maybe shipping to Florida, what would be the farthest distance away? And you can use programs like the USPS shipping calculator tool. You can use an app like Shippo and connect it to your Etsy shop and get shipping prices. But that's some homework that you'll need to do before you can really price your listings accurately and ensure that you're not going to lose money on any transactions. And the same thing goes for if you're shipping a supply. You do want to figure that out first. So for print on demand, it's a little bit simpler. We have a free shipping guarantee on our shop. We know this will ship for free. You know it costs that $3.50 that Printful is going to charge us for the patch to ship it, and that goes from there. The next thing that you need to figure out is your Etsy offsite ads percentage. Now, you create an Etsy shop, your new Etsy shop, you're allowed to opt out. I have a link here. I'll take you right there to your offsite ads page. And you can see what percentage you're paying. You can opt out if you're a new shop, but you can't opt out if you've had $10,000 in sales in a 12-month period. So if you're just this is going to be just like a slow game for you, and you don't see you making that kind of money with your Etsy shop, then yes, by all means opt out. But if you see yourself down the road potentially making those kinds of sales, having a really good amount of sales at Christmas, for example, that would send you over that threshold, then pricing with offsite ads in mind is definitely a good idea. Now, you can opt out in the beginning, and then once you hit that threshold, you'll be automatically opted in. If you are planning on doing that, you want to use this calculator with the 12% offsite ads, because that's when you reach that threshold and you're opted in automatically and you can't opt out, you are paying a 12% fee on any of those offsite ad clicks. If you are opted in before you hit the threshold, you'll be at 15%. Now, I give you the option to pick either of those two or opt out completely or ignore it. For most people, even if you're opted out in the beginning, I still recommend using that 12% so you can price your listings with that fee in mind, and then down the road, that fee is covered if you hit that threshold, but that is completely up to you. Now, this is the free calculator on the homepage. For anyone who becomes a member, I have the same calculator, but I also have factoring in coupons and discounts, which can be secretly and sneakily take a hit to those profits and very quickly send you over that amount of actually being profitable and making that minimum profit per sale that we want to make. All right, so we've got all that filled out. Now we can send the results to our inbox. I wonder if it'll let me send it to myself. You can opt out of the newsletter if you choose. And then we get our results. So this was also emailed to me, but you can see my title, the estimated selling price. So I would need to sell these patches for $26.70. This will cover the cost to make the patch. This will cover any fees that are involved, payment processing fee, Etsy transaction fee, and then also if that offsite ads fee, someone clicks through that. And then also the minimum profit I want to make is included in that number. And then the cost to make is included in that number. And then since I did free shipping, the cost to ship is included in that number. So I know if any of all those factors apply, I am still going to make at least $3 per sale. Most sales I'll make more than that, but the very bare minimum will be $3. Okay. And then on the members only calculator, I do a complete fees and cost breakdown so you can see the where all that money is going when someone buys it for this price. Now you can round that number up, you can round it down. And again, it's never going to be 100% accurate because if a customer checks out and pays sales tax, if a customer checks out and upgrades their shipping or whatever, there is going to be a difference in the amount of fees that you pay. So, you want to keep that in mind as well. Always better to round up than round down to protect yourself from potentially not making any money when you sell on Etsy. I hope this made sense and this is helpful for anyone testing out the calculator. You can also share your result if you want to on social media and maybe get a little bit of surprise. Now, selling these patches for $26.70, I don't know. You have to be a pretty phenomenal patch, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. If you come up with a pretty cool design that's personalized, I'm sure there's people out there that would happily pay that price. It's all about what you create, how you market it, and how you sell it. Okay, so that's the free calculator that's on the homepage. I want to give you a little tour as well of the Etsy pricing calculators in the members only section on Whutsy.com. Now, currently, as of April 2022, the membership is $2.99 a month. That gets you access to all these calculators, and you can use these anytime, as many times as you want, for all your Etsy listings. I'm just going to give you a quick little tour of the different calculators that are available so you can decide if the membership is right for you. Okay, everything is updated for 2022. This video was made in April 2022, so that as of that date, the Etsy transaction fee is 6.5%. It was just recently raised. All the calculators factor in that new transaction fee. Okay, so the calculators that are available on the members only section, we have the what should I sell my listing for calculator, which is the best estimated price you should sell a new listing for. Very similar to the calculator that's on the home page, but this calculator also factors in coupons and discounts. The other calculator I have on there is the Are Etsy Ads Worth It Profit Calculator. This is an intense calculator, but if you're an experienced Etsy seller and you've been selling on Etsy for a while, you've used ads, you've not used ads, you test them out, you play around with it all the time, this is a calculator for you. I have a video on that calculator page to walk you through it, but if you use Etsy ads and you're just trying to weed through those numbers to figure out if you're profitable, if it's worth it, that's the calculator for you. I also have the Am I Making Money on Etsy calculator. This calculator is for your existing listings. You have a bunch of listings. You're not sure if you're really making money off of these. This is the calculator for you. So you don't have to go in and use the other calculator. You can just use this one with the existing pricing that you have and see if it's working. And then if it's not, you can adjust from there and maybe use the other calculator to find out what price you should be charging. And then I have the what should I charge for shipping calculator. Now, this doesn't calculate shipping costs, okay? You still have to do all that homework yourself, figuring out how much it actually does cost to ship a package to some place like Hawaii or whatever. But this will include all the fees to so you enter in your shipping costs. It includes all the fees that apply to that shipping charge if you charge for shipping. If free shipping is included in your listing, you don't have to use this calculator. But if you are charging for shipping, but you are not including those fees in your listing price, this is a great way to use this tool. So you have multiple shipping options. For example, you can use this tool to figure out what shipping prices you should be charging on top of what the cost actually is, because we know there's the cost that it actually costs you to ship something, and then there's the amount you actually pay, which includes all the fees. Okay. So I'll show you first the what should I sell my listing for calculator. This is the one that I use all the time. If I'm making a custom listing for a customer, if I'm adding a new product to my store, if I see Printful put out a new product, I use this calculator to find out, should I sell this? What should I sell this for? And then I can decide, maybe that's not the price point I can really actually sell this for, and it's not worth my time. Or, yes, this is a great price. I might be able to charge more, and this is going to be a really profitable item for my shop. And this calculator looks a little different than the one on the homepage, but it works all the same way. So we're going to do an example of these embroidered patches that are on Printful. And the first thing that we do is we enter in the listing name. This is just for us to reference later. It doesn't have to be anything special. It just has to be something that you'll be able to reference either in your email, or if you add it to a spreadsheet or whatever, you'll be able to reference and understand what this item is. So once we do that, we click next. Next is our minimum profit per sale. The absolute minimum amount of money we want to make when this listing sells. When we factor in offsite ads, when we factor in coupons and discounts, when we factor in what it costs to make the item, ship the item, package the item, this is the minimum amount of money we want to make to produce that item. So if it's relatively easy for you to get it out the door, not a lot of work for you, no personalization, then this can be low. But if this is an item that requires personalization, if it's an item that you hand make, you want to factor that into your profits. If it takes you an hour to make something, how much do you want to be paid for that hour at the absolute minimum? Okay, and that's going to average over time, because we know not everyone clicks through an offsite ad. What we want to do is just avoid that potential of losing money when someone buys through an offsite ad. Okay, and that's what this calculator does. So for this patch with a little bit of personalization, I'm going to say something like $3. I can always adjust as needed. Okay, and then we click next. Now the cost to make, again, how much does it cost to make this item? Materials, contract labor, product packaging, inserts, packaging for shipping. How much does it cost me to make one of these? Okay, Printful gives me all that information, $8.95, plus the cost for digitization, which they hide in the file guidelines and at the bottom. So if I do personalized patches, I'm going to get charged this $6.50 digitization fee every time. So I need to include that into the price. Okay, so that total cost to make will be $15.45. Shipping price at checkout. Am I doing free shipping for my customer, or is the customer paying for shipping? And if they are paying for shipping, what are they going to be paying? I could make this $3.99, because if I go to the listing on Printful and see the shipping cost to the United States, it's $3.50. If I'm making this myself and shipping this myself, I need to know what the highest possible shipping price a customer will be paying. So I always suggest going to USPS.com, using their calculator there, a package calculator, or use Shippo. You can use the link in the description of this video to take you right to the Etsy way to hook it up to your Etsy shop to figure out what the package would cost to ship to a destination very far away from where you would typically send it. That's going to most often be the most expensive. So that would be the highest price someone would pay for shipping at checkout. Or if it's free shipping, what they would pay, then it's $0. And again, this is the price the customer pays at checkout, not what it costs you. So if it costs me $3.50, I might still add on a little bit to that just in case there's I want to make a little bit of profit off the shipping cost. But that's up to you. And if free shipping, cost to ship. Now, if the customer pays for shipping, this is $0. So if you know that the highest amount of money the customer is ever going to pay to ship a package that of this item is going to be $5.99, you entered that in previously, now you would put in $0. But if we are paying, if the shipping cost for the customer is $0, then we need to enter in the highest possible shipping price that you would pay. So that would be that $3.50, which was on the Printful website. Now, upgrades are not included in this because if a customer does upgrade, even if you have a free shipping guarantee, then that they do pay that difference. It's just for the standard shipping price. Okay. So we're going to continue on. The next question is the offsite ads price. If you're not sure, you can follow the link through to find your offsite ads fee. You can opt out if you don't want to factor it in. You can pick what fee you have. If you selected the wrong one, you can always click the previous button and go back and pick the correct one. Okay, now here's where the coupon or discount percentage comes in. You want to select the highest discount you wish to offer during a sales event or as a coupon, and Etsy will not allow a sale or coupon above 70%. So this is where you can say, okay, Black Friday, once a year, I offer this coupon of 15%. So I want to factor that in so I know that when I am running that sale, I'm still making money. So if we do that, we can put 15% here. I know that's the highest discount I'm ever going to offer. If you decide you want to offer a bigger discount, then you can increase this number. Or if you're like, I'm not going to really offer sales, I'll have a 10% coupon for signing my email list, and that's pretty much it. But you really want to think about like what sale am I ever going to run? Because unless you want to go in and change all your pricing a few weeks before you run a sale, you want to factor this in. And I'm a firm believer that changing your prices just because you have a sale coming up is kind of a dirty trick, and I don't think that's right. So if we just figure out our pricing from the beginning to include that discount code, coupon, or sale that we're going to offer, then we don't have to worry about it again. Okay. And then from there, we click submit. Now, members, you have the option of sending this to your inbox for safekeeping if you want, or you can click skip. And there, now we have our estimated selling price. Now, if you watch this video from the beginning, we see this is quite a bit more than the price we got from the other calculator because of that coupon. Coupons are a killer. They will eat your profits away, especially if the person clicks through an offsite ad. Now you have a sale running on your shop and they buy 10 of it. You know, you're not losing just on that one item, you're losing times 10. So just having that pricing in line for that potential coupon, we know now when we run that sale, this is going to be okay. Now, you could look at this and say, well, I don't need to charge this much all year. And then when I do run the Black Friday sale, I could deactivate this listing for that week that the sale's running and then reactivate it at the end. I mean, that's one tactic that you could do to keep your prices lower and not have to worry about these once a year sales events. But, again, this is like stuff you have to remember. Are you going to remember, 8 months from now when that sale starts? Like, oh, yeah, I've got to deactivate these listings. I mean, if you're on top of things and you can do that, if you have only a few items in your shop and you can remember to do that, then cheers. But if you're running a shop where you have hundreds of items, I mean, this is not a reality unless you have a way of organizing that maybe as a shop section or something. So that's one tactic you could do. So you can see that that's the estimated selling price of $36.95. Now, if we sell that patch for $36.95, now a embroidered patch that's 3 inches by 3 inches, that's a stretch. That's going to be a special patch. And then the person uses that coupon or sales event, and the price gets down to $31.41. I mean, that's what price they'd be paying at checkout. Now we have the fees and cost breakdown, and I have a little bit of a sense of humor about this now. But again, if we are pricing accurately for these fees, you don't have to worry about it. You're not burning money because we know that the fees are going to be covered with all these transactions. So you don't have to stress about it. So the minimum profit we entered for this item is $3. So if someone clicks through an offsite ad, uses the coupon, and checks out, we know that I'm going to make at least $3 when I sell this item. Most transactions, yes, will be more profit than that. So you can think of it that way. If I have it all broken down here. So the cost to make, so from that selling price of $36.95, $15.45 is going to make the actual product and get it to the customer. The amount of that money that's shipping is $3.50. The listing fee is 20 cents. And then there's no shipping transaction fee because I am doing free shipping for this item. If you are not charging free shipping, you will see a fee there. Now, if the person uses the coupon, okay, the transaction fee will be $1.19, or payment processing fee, excuse me. So that's to process their credit card. The transaction fee from Etsy will be $2.04. And then if they click through an offsite ad as well, that would be $3.77. So you can think of it this way. If the person doesn't click through an offsite ad but uses the coupon, this $3.77 would be in your profit now. Okay, so on top of that minimum profit of $3, we'd now be making $6.07. Now, this is not exact. This can be off by a few pennies either direction, depending on the amount of sales tax that's charged and anything else that factors in, but it's going to be pretty close to give you a really good general idea. Now, if they don't use the coupon, the payment processing fee is $1.36 because now the price is higher. There's no coupon applied. The transaction fee from Etsy is $2.40, and then the offsite ads fee is $4.43. So if there's no coupon code used and then they do not click through a offsite ad, we know the minimum profit we make is $7.43 by adding this fee and the $3 minimum profit that we set in the calculator. So you can see now, you can really see what's going on with these transactions. You can really understand. Now, it's again not 100% accurate. It might be off by a few cents here or there. But you can definitely make some better decisions about the prices of your shop. What price can I charge in my online store versus my Etsy shop? Now, in your online store, you'll never have an offsite ads fee and you'll never have a transaction fee. So you can see if you charge the same price for an item in your Etsy shop as you do your online store is way more profitable per an item. And you can see it here. You understand it here. And so this information is so powerful. So I really recommend even just trying the membership for 1 month, just to use this calculator and really get your pricing in order. Now, some of the other calculators that are in the members only place is the Am I Making Money on Etsy? This calculator is designed for your existing listings to really check and see, are you charging the right price for this? Do I need to charge more? Am I making money if someone clicks through an offsite ad and then uses a coupon, or it's during a sales event or something like that? This is what calculator you want to use for an existing listing. So I'm just going to take a sip here. Okay, so this listing, name of your listing, just for easy reference for you to reference later. I'm going to do my embroidered patches, the 3x3. If there's different variants, you want to make a reference of that, and then it's printful, just something so that you know what it is that you are checking the price of. Now, if you have multiple variants on a single listing, you'll have to do it for each variant just to make sure that you are charging the right price if those variants cost you different amounts of money. Okay, so if you have, like I say, I have these embroidered patches, I have them in 3x3, and then I have them in 6x6. And the cost for the 6x6 patch for me is quite different than the 3x3. And I want to make sure that I'm charging the right amount for those two different variants. So I would do this calculator twice, one for each variant. So I click next. Now, what do I have as the listing price? Well, in the previous calculator, I learned that I should be charging $36 for this. So let's do something under that to see, what would I be losing in this kind of scenario. So let's charge $28. We say we're charging $28 for a personalized patch, 3x3, which is, I think, is quite an expensive patch. Okay. So we'll click next. Now here's where we enter in our cost to make. So this is the, since I'm using print on demand, I'm using Printful. I have the prices here. I know it's $8.95, and then this is personalized. So I can go to the digitization fee, and I know that the digitization fee, because it's a personalized patch, every time is going to apply. So that's how much it costs for me to make this patch, which is $15.45. Now, if this is something you hand make, you want to include all the materials, how much it costs to make one, any inserts you're putting in, the packaging for the product to make one, and you want to enter that in there. Okay. Then we go to next, the shipping price at checkout. What is the customer paying at checkout for shipping? I've been using the example for free shipping each time, but you want to enter in the highest possible standard shipping price without upgrades that your customer pays. So if you're using Etsy calculated shipping, this is very difficult to figure out. And you might want to use some of the USPS calculators or integrate Shippo with your Etsy shop to figure out how much these packages would cost if you're shipping to somewhere far away. I have a link below in the description if you're interested in trying out Shippo to calculate your shipping costs so you understand how much it would cost to send packages. But if you're doing this is the shipping price at checkout. This isn't what you're paying. This is what the customer will pay. So you have to think of it that way. If you're getting a discount on labels, that's great, but how much are you going to charge the customer for that package? And in this example, I'm going to do free shipping. So I'm going to do 0. And now if free shipping, the cost to ship. So if the customer is paying shipping, if you entered in $3.99, $5.99, whatever it would cost to ship the package, just a standard shipping, then you would put this as 0, okay? But I did free shipping, so I want to enter in the highest possible standard shipping price without upgrades that you would pay. So I would possibly pay the price for the patch. We go to Printful, shipping, and then we see here $3.50. If I'm shipping internationally, I'll want to take a look for each country and see what that costs me, and then decide, do I need to ship to other countries, or should I just be shipping to the United States? For new Etsy shops, I really just recommend shipping just to the United States, especially when you're first getting set up, just for sheer simplicity. So we know that it costs $3.50 to ship this, so I'm going to enter that here. Okay, next. Now your offsite ads percentage. This is for your existing shop. If you are thinking about opting out of offsite ads or you're near the threshold, you want to be probably more accurate at what you're paying right now at this moment without making any changes. This calculator is really just checking the pricing on your current listing in your Etsy shop to see what you are paying in these fees and understanding if you are making money when you make sales. So you want to probably put in whatever transaction Etsy offsite ads fee you are currently paying. And if you make a mistake, you just hit previous and you can go back and make the changes. Now, coupon or discount percentage. It's like the highest discount you offer either during a sales event or as a coupon. So say, for example, Black Friday, you run a sale of 15%. We would put 15%, but you don't have any other coupons higher than that. Maybe you give a thank you coupon for 20% or 10%. Whatever the highest discount you offer, either during a sales event or as a coupon, you want to put this in because we want to think about it that way. We want to think about what's the worst case scenario of a customer's purchase where they click through an offsite ad. They buy one of your item with free shipping. Then they use a coupon on your site or it's during a sales event. We want to enter in that worst case scenario so we can understand clearly if that worst case scenario happens, are we still making money or are we losing money on that transaction? And if we are, is it still worth it based on how many times that scenario happens? Are we making it up with those other transactions? And then you can kind of decide, is it worth it for me to even sell this product? Or if I have to raise the price, by how much? Okay. So we really want to base this stuff off of the worst case scenario so we can make a smart judgment on what we're doing. So we click submit. We have the option to send it to our inbox if you want to file it there or add it to a spreadsheet. Saving the information is always a good idea. Hit skip if you just want to see. Okay, now we have the breakdown. We have the title, the listing that we did. And I made this easy, so if you want to print out this information, you can print it out and have it to reference as well. If a customer purchases through an offsite ad and redeems a coupon sale with that 15% off worst case scenario, I made negative 72 cents after discounts, offsite ad fees, Etsy fees, and expenses. Okay, so there it is, plain as day. If someone's buying through an offsite ad and coupon and everything else, I'm losing 72 cents on that. I'm not making any money in that scenario. If a customer only purchases through an offsite ad, you made $2.58 after offsite ads fees, Etsy fees, and expenses. So if they click through an offsite ad and don't use a coupon, I'm still making money. Okay, so that's good. If a customer only redeems a coupon for your maximum coupon or sale, I made $2.14 after discounts, Etsy fees, and expenses. So this is the scenario where someone doesn't click through an offsite ad. They just use a coupon at that highest level that I offer discounts. I still make money, so that's good. If a customer doesn't click on an offsite ad and has no coupon codes, I make $5.94 after Etsy fees and expenses. Now, with all this information in front of me, I can make a decision. Is this price okay? Am I okay losing a little bit of money on those rare transactions where someone uses an offsite ad, click, and a coupon, or during a sales event? That might be okay for some people or for some scenarios. But if this discount is something you offer during Black Friday and you're getting tons of traffic and Etsy is blitzing Google shopping ads and people are finding your product, and all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you have 30 sales, and each one of those sales or a good percentage of those sales, you've lost 72 cents for each one. I mean, that's not a good feeling, especially if this is a personalized patch. Remember, I'm personalizing each of these in this scenario. So there is a little bit of work for me to do. Okay. Now I have the fees and costs breakdown for you as well. My minimum profit that I could possibly make is negative 72 cents. And then all the breakdowns for all the fees. Okay. So this information is really helpful for your existing listings to understand, do I need to take this listing down? Do I need to look at my pricing? Can I price it higher? Is it okay if I lose money on some transactions? Are the sales so rare that I don't need to run these ads, run the sales anymore? Maybe I just discontinue all those coupon codes for 15% and don't run 15% off sales. There's lots of ways to fix this, and it doesn't necessarily mean charging more. But having the information empowers you to make those decisions for your business and make them wisely. The next calculator I'm going to talk about today is the shipping calculator. What should I charge for shipping? This calculator is in the members only section and it's a fairly small, easy to use calculator which updates automatically as you enter in information. And none of the information is required, so you can kind of speed through this. I made this like kind of a speedy calculator. And this is a great calculator for print-on-demand shops that sell on Etsy and entering in your shipping profiles set at a fixed rate. So we can go over to Printful for a listing like these embroidered patches, go down through each country, enter these numbers into the calculator, and making sure that we're covering those fees. So do we have offsite ads? That's really important. Do we need to factor that in? And then now we can enter in the shipping cost. So let's say we're going to see what I should charge for shipping to the UK. They do $4.09. So the shipping cost, and then we just click away or hit enter, and now we should be charging $4.97 in the shipping, into the shipping profile. So in your shipping profile, change the price to $4.97, and that's for the shipping to the United Kingdom for these patches. And then, for example, we could say, all right, well, let's see, what would it be for Canada? Okay, $3.89. I just love doing the copy and paste, enter, and now we can see $4.73 is what we should charge. Now this covers all those fees. So we have the Etsy transaction fee, which applies to shipping costs as well. If they click through an offsite ad, that fee is included here, and then the payment processing fee. And then I have a little note about payment processing fees. There is an additional 25-cent fee added at the time of processing, but this applies to the complete transaction at checkout. If you use our calculators to price your listings, this 25 cents is already covered in your listing price. So I omit that the payment processing fee is 3% plus 25 cents. I omit that from this because I assume you have your pricing figured out that fee is being covered into the actual listing price. So you don't have to worry about adding that extra 25 cents to your shipping price. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And I know it's a little confusing, but if you're using the calculators, that fee is covered. So you don't have to stress about it. This calculator, if you're doing, if you're doing free shipping at checkout, you don't need to use this calculator. This is only if you are not using free shipping for your Etsy shop and the customer is paying for shipping and you're setting your shipping profiles at a fixed rate. What you could also use this shipping calculator for is if you are using Etsy calculated shipping prices, Etsy shipping labels for an item you're hand making, and you notice most people pay around $4 for shipping. That's kind of like your average price that they end up paying when they check out. You can enter that in here It could be $4, it could be $4.12 or whatever. You can just kind of look at that. And you can see the difference here is the with the fees included, it's $5.01. So there's a little box if you do Etsy calculated shipping on any listing that has a handling fee where you can add that on. So we can take this $5.01, okay, and then subtract the $4.12 average shipping cost people pay and put that 89 cents, that's the difference, into that handling fee so that now we know, okay, my fees are covered for these transaction fees and offsite ad fees and payment processing fees that apply to the shipping cost. So that's a little hack on how to use this calculator if you're using Etsy shipping labels. Now, the last calculator that's in the members only section is a really powerful, game changing calculator. It's called the Etsy Ads Worth It Profit Calculator. Now, you need to be an established shop to use this calculator. Brand new shops, this is not going to be helpful for you. What it's really great for is if you've run ad campaigns in the past on and off, you've tested them here, you've tested them there, or you've run an ad campaign for a month. This is a calculator to help you understand how much net profit you're actually making when Etsy ads. And I have a detailed video on how to use this calculator because it is very complex. And you need to be very specific with your answers, or else it's not going to give you really any information that's useful. Okay. So if you do want to try this calculator, watch the video I have here. I walk you through step by step. And then once you understand the concepts of this calculator and the data it takes from and it uses from your Etsy ads dashboard, this calculator will be so helpful for you in deciding which products to sell, which products to have on Etsy ads, which products not to have on Etsy ads, which products are the most profitable, and maybe you're like, yes, this is what I'm going to run ads on all the time because I'm seeing the great return on investment with this. Because the data that Etsy gives you is not helpful. I mean, it's helpful because now I can make this calculator for you to interpret the data, but just looking at it, it's not giving you the information you need. It's hard to understand what's really happening under the hood, if you will. So this calculator is really great for those established shops that need to understand if the running Etsy ads on specific listings is worth it. Okay, so use this calculator and you will be amazed, and you might learn some really good information and help you with your ad campaigns on Etsy. Okay, so I hope this tour of all the Etsy seller calculators I have helps you decide if you want to sign up to become a member, if these Etsy calculators are useful for you, if they might help you figure out the new transaction fee, what's really happening there. How is that affecting your listings? You know, any established shops, I have some great calculator tools for you, including the Etsy ads calculator and the Am I Making Money on Etsy calculator for those existing listings, those existing products that you have for sale. Okay, you know, those are really great for established shops to use. And then I have the What Should I Sell My Listing For calculator for any new listings you're using going forward, or if you need to change the price of a listing, rethink it altogether, and start from scratch. What should you be selling that listing for? So that's really great for new shops, and it's also really great for established shops to make sure they're getting the correct prices. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one and a lot of information, but I hope it was helpful in getting you to understand how complex and complicated these fees really are, and that how there's a lot of shops. I mean, a lot of shops out there that are losing money daily on transactions, even with coupons or offsite ads, and there's no need for it. You know, we need to price our listings for profit so that We know that we're making money every time we make a sale. And if a big percentage of Etsy sellers do this, then you will start to see a renaissance on Etsy as far as success stories, instead of people who burn out or lose interest or just can't make a go of it, right? Because if you know you're making profit every time you make a sale, even if it's only a few sales a week or one sale a week, you know you're making money, and that's so encouraging. That's such a great feeling, and it will drive you to succeed more than you could ever know. So leave your comments below. How have these calculators helped you? Have you tried them yet? Are you confused by anything? Is there something I can explain better? Let me know in the comments, and I'm really looking forward to answering your questions and connecting with you on the website, on the YouTube channel, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram. Follow me there. All the links are below in the description, and be sure to check out all the bonus resources I have for you, all the PDFs, all the great web pages, blog posts that I have that have these incredible resources to save you time and effort, and especially money on Etsy. Okay, thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day.